So we need an educational program that teaches the students both sound and basic economics. And it's very important, if you are going to discuss things with the economy, you must be sure on your economics, first of all. Otherwise, you will go the wrong way. And then you need basic natural sciences. Try to work with natural scientists. And this comes to what dream Pathar Gupta and I had some 35, 40 years ago. Gosh, that's a long time ago. Some of you were not born at that time. I had published a book on valuation of pollution damages for OECD. It came out, I think, 1974. The United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, got interested and wanted to start a program on cost benefit of the environment. And they asked two economists to write a background paper. And they wrote the background paper on the basis of the book I had written, together with an American statistician from Wisconsin. So it was a book on some 200 pages, condensed to 20 pages. Very good condensation. Had nothing against that paper by itself. But United Nations Environment Program organized a meeting in Nairobi, 1979. And the Foreign Office in Stockholm asked me to represent Sweden at that meeting, which I did gladly, because I'd never been in that part of Africa before. So I flew down, but I was very suspicious about the whole program. I thought, if we are going to discuss seriously the economics of environment in poor countries, we must have a completely different perspective. And we shouldn't focus on the pollution issues that dominated the United States and Europe at that time. There are resource problems, and furthermore, most of the European and North American analysis based on the concept of the ideal, perfect functioning market. And we know so well, in particular from the book that SANDEE published, what's the name? Promise, Trust, and Evolution, that there are other resource allocation mechanisms that characterize so many poor countries. So I was rather negative to this whole meeting. However, I arrived to Kenyatta Airport in Nairobi, picked up my bag, and I had no idea where to go. Knew I had a room in a hotel in central Nairobi. But then outside the arrival hall, there was a small van. That's where with the letters UNEP. Ah, they're here. Maybe I can go with them into Nairobi. So I said, are you going to UNEP? I said, yes. And already there was a young boy inside the van. And I went into the van. Hi, I'm Karl Goran Maler. Oh, I know you. I'm Pathar Gupta. That was the first time we met in that UNEP van. And I started immediately to complain about these papers. You're absolutely right. I have exactly the same ideas. Fortunately, we were able to change the agenda for UNEP during that meeting. But at the same time, we were convinced that we needed a program in poor countries, in economics, in which economists take environment and nature seriously. And we tried then to find various routes to go in order to make this come true. We started with a cooperation with Wider, and its director at that time, Lajavadena from Sri Lanka, and we established a program of teaching environmental economics at Wider. We organized the first workshop in Sri Lanka, and I think some of you were there. I think I saw some people who were there. Anyhow, that meeting was a 2-week meeting in which we taught environmental economics and resource economics. And after the meeting itself was closed, a few of us got together, and there were wishes to have a continuation of this, trying to create some network in Southeast Asia and South Asia. And we had also quite many Africans involved in that workshop in Sri Lanka. And they started in ESA when they came back to their home countries in Africa. I think Thomas was much involved in the creation of INESA. The inspiration I think they got in Sri Lanka, but the actual work took place in Africa. We had also a discussion on creating an Indian network, some association in India. India, 1 billion people, that's more than lots of European countries together. So it should be feasible to do that. Eventually, the teaching program continued. We had meetings in Malta for African people. We had meeting in Venezuela for Latin Americans. And we got quite a lot of money from Priya's former employer, McDonald Foundation. MacArthur, sorry. Sorry.
I was wondering where the McDonald came in.
I'm thinking of
hamburgers.
Hamburgers.
Oh, you're hungry. All right, you got to supply some hamburgers.
Okay. Anyhow, I was still hungry. Don't tell Chicago this.
No. Oh, I will.
Okay. Patra was over in Stockholm. And we were discussing the possibility of creating a network. We had some people in India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, who were interested in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka came in a little bit later, really, because they were already included in something David Glover had started earlier, EPSI, and therefore, which had the same goals, the same ideas behind it, but developed completely independent from Patra's and my ideas. Okay. Patra was sitting there in my office at the Bayer Institute, and we agreed we have to find a person who can be the director of this, take charge, be the intellectual leader, the person who can really get people together and start moving. Then I suggested to Patra, Priya, shouldn't you ask Priya? Brilliant idea. And I called Priya and told her, we'll try to start a network in South Asia. Are you interested to become the director of this? Priya?
For the directorship.
Sorry? Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. She said, oh Karl, yes, I will, I want. Please come. Please come, yes. I think it's a brilliant idea. And that meant we had a first meeting in Mumbai, a small group, trying to configure something. And we then had a meeting, inauguration meeting in Kathmandu. And after that meeting 10 years ago, there's only one word that remains for me to say. Priya, she did it all.
Oh, come on.
You did it all. And I'm so happy we made the right choice. And thank you very much, Priya. Thanks to you, we have SANDEE with a wonderful success. And I hope that success will last for long, because we need SANDEE very, very much. Thank you very much.